What's up, everybody? King of Fomo here, coming at you with your daily crypto update. Today we're going to be talking about NFTs on this channel. So I've been on a little bit of a break, really just digging my teeth into this, doing research for the past week or so on NFTs. And I've been looking at other stuff as well, but I haven't really been making too much content in the form of videos. And one of the things to remember is that crypto is not a race. I'm really trying to produce quality over quantity, and we have a lot of things coming up soon that we're going to be talking about on this channel. But I do want to give an introduction to NFTs, especially for a lot of people that have my similar outlook to these things. Are these things really just fads that are just going to be here today, gone tomorrow? What is it going to mean for crypto? So I'm going to get into a lot of interesting stuff here. Before I do that, of course, I have to plug up my Patreon page. Now, like I said, you're going to get value from this as we get into the Cardano blockchain, which is actually launching tomorrow. We'll talk a little bit about that as well today. But this is pretty much the area where I got interested in NFTs. A lot of people in my Discord group, shout outs to Mr. Meeksies and a few other people, talked about NFTs and about how they were doing really well with them. So I did research on them, and lo and behold, they are definitely something you want to take a look at. And if you want to find information like this early, before I make videos about it or in between my videos, follow my Patreon page right here, and you're going to get access to all of my videos 2 to 3 days early, and access to that Discord channel where I do a lot of my preliminary research as well. Now, like I said, we can talk about some other coins on this video as well. This video might be a little bit longer, but some things that are definitely notable this week: Cardano, like I said, launching their smart contracts within 24 hours. I thought I had the chart pulled up here. Here it is right here. So within 1 day and 2 hours, we're going to have smart contracts launched on Cardano. It's going to be a pretty big deal, but we're going to probably more like a month from now is when we're going to start to see implementation of those smart contracts. And you can already see the rise and growth for Cardano right now. I do think that Cardano is going to touch its $3 marks probably within the next day or so, and go beyond from there. So we're going to have a lot of updates with that. Solana's doing really well. Rose, I just did a video about Rose. That's up 26% or something like that today. And a lot of your other protocols for smart contracts are doing well too, like Avalanche, Harmony, Phantom, all up multiple percentage points. But again, this isn't a video focusing on that. We're more going to focus on this NFT stuff. So what is an NFT? Stands for non-fungible token. If you guys are unaware, I'm sure you've heard about these things in crypto in the past couple of months. You've heard about famous people buying NFTs. You've heard about NFTs being worth thousands, if not millions, or hundreds of thousands of dollars. And you probably have the impression, or at least the false impression, not the whole picture about what NFTs can do. I know myself, when I thought of NFTs before, I pretty much thought it was just a JPEG, a picture on the internet that you can copy and paste and have yourself. So why is that worth any money? I mean, we can click on one of these things right here. So this one right here is the Crypto Punks. Pretty famous for a lot of people, famous people buying some of these things. And that's what they are. They're JPEG pictures that you can purchase. And they're selling for pretty high amounts of money, but a lot of people like these things are not going to do anything. They're just fads. It's like collecting art. What are you going to do with it? If you buy it, you can be bag holding, a $20,000 JPEG and not be able to do anything with it. So this one right here, for example, worth 10.87 Ethereum. I think that's valued at about maybe close to $38,000 right there. So pretty insane, the value that these pictures, these JPEGs have. But it is more than that, and that's what I want to talk about in this video. I did purchase a set of NFTs just to get started and to really understand kind of what this thing is really doing here. And on one hand, you do have NFTs that are just simply what you think they are, which is a very, very expensive picture that only one person can own. So can you copy and paste the picture? Yes, you can copy and paste the picture and you have it on your computer, but do you own that picture? The answer is no, you do not have that picture on the blockchain. And I'll try and explain what that means in terms of Are NFTs going anywhere? No, they're not going to disappear. This is not going to be a fad that goes away tomorrow because the hype died. This is not going to be like meme coins where it's kind of just funny that things are going up, but they really have no use case. NFTs do have a use case, and they're in like their very, very beginning stages of infancy. And one of the comparisons that you can make before we talk about these things is Bitcoin and cryptocurrency as a whole. 9-10 years ago when Bitcoin first launched, a lot of people said this is just a fad, it's going to go away, it's got no future whatsoever, and it was very speculative because there wasn't use case, there wasn't adoption, there wasn't ways to use the Bitcoin. And the ways that people were using the Bitcoin were kind of nefarious or are not mainstream. And the same case is true for NFTs right now. There really isn't a whole lot you can do with a lot of these things, and some of them are just art, which is, getting into the art collection business can be a very, very risky thing, especially if you're looking to flip art. That's going to be even harder when you have the quantity that's available over here on these different NFT sites. So what is the deal with these things? Why are they a big deal? So we'll talk about these video game dev squad NFTs that I purchased. I kind of want to dive into those a little bit more than anything else because I've been researching those more than other things, but this is kind of the simplest way that I can explain it. So we're going to take a look at, this is called the N project, and we can look and see the stats for these NFTs. Again, you're looking at $20,000 for some basic NFTs, and this floor price is kind of what the lowest prices is being sold for the NFTs in that particular collection. So like the Bored Ape Yacht Club, 33 ETH is the minimum value people are selling all of these things for. So there's that to be said. So like I said, I got a little sidetracked here, but I want to talk about the N project before I talk about Video Game Dev Squad, just so what these things can do. So the N project, you can see this NFT right here, purchased it for about 1.09 Ethereum, which is a lot. It's about $3,000, a little more than that. And it's just a series of 8 numbers. So you might say, well, why would you spend thousands of dollars on 8 numbers? Well, if we look at the N project in particular, and I'm going to try and relate this to you as much as possible so that you understand it. This is a project that has only 8.9 thousand items in circulation. You can compare that to coins in a cryptocurrency, 8.9 thousand coins. Very, very low supply in terms of if this thing does get extremely popular, the demand will go up. And if you have a very, very low supply coin, the price of that coin is extremely high. I mean, that's why Dogecoin, you have a gigantic supply, and Dogecoin was originally worth a very, very tiny amount. It's the opposite with small supplies. And a lot of these NFTs have somewhere around the realm of about 10,000 or less items within their collection overall. So that's the first thing. The scarcity of the item can justify the price if the demand is there. So the next thing is, why would there be demand to get on a series of 8 numbers or a picture? And that's where it gets a little more complicated, but you have to understand what you're buying is a piece of code. So this piece of code is what you're really owning, and the picture that represents it, I mean, that's neither here nor there. It helps you to understand what you actually own. So if you purchase this piece of code, this set of 8 numbers, basically other developers can create a video game or a project, and they could require you to have a piece of code from the N project or a different NFT. And you input that piece of code from this one in particular, the N project, into that video game, and you get a set of items in that video game. So you get some rare staff or some rare sword or a rare shield in that video game. Now you can actually sell your NFT or sell that rare sword, shield, or staff for actual money because you own the item. Nobody else owns your piece of code because that piece of code is in the blockchain. So hopefully that helps you understand it a little bit more in terms of video games, but you can also go beyond that and think about terms of real estate. One example somebody used was Airbnb. So if an Airbnb house gets bought and portions of it are sold off to people in the form of NFTs. So you have an NFT of an Airbnb, and that particular NFT is going to give you a certain amount of money paid back to you for everyone that books that NFT, because you own a piece of that property in the form of the NFT. And again, it's verified on the blockchain. It's not something you can just copy and paste. It's something that you have to have on the blockchain and verify in order to receive that money or receive that video game item or whatnot. Now, the same case is true when we're looking at something like, let me go back here. When we're looking at something like, go back one more time, video game dev squad. So this is the same deal. You do get a nice, cool, little pretty picture, but on top of that, you have a developer, and we'll look at the coin developer who made this NFT in a second. You have a developer that's going to require these NFTs to play their game, to access other types of projects within their ecosystem. So the NFT is required for you to even play the game or get certain items within the game of high rarity. You own those items, those rare items, and you're able to hold on to them. You're able to sell them at whatever value you think they're worth, or so on and so forth. And you can compare that with something like Fortnite. It's like owning a piece of Fortnite. I know that some of my viewers don't even know what Fortnite is, but if you've played the game before, you know that there's a giant map, and you know there's areas in that giant map. And that game has hundreds of millions of players in it on a daily basis, hundreds of millions of dollars worth of V-Bucks being purchased. If you own a piece of the Fortnite map and you have hundreds of millions of dollars in players going into that on a daily basis, and you get a kickback of Fortnite, that's what we're talking about here with NFTs. You're owning a piece of the actual game. And that's where the term play to earn comes in. And that's what the Video Game Dev Squad and Axie Infinity and a few of these other NFTs are trying to do. So I told you about owning a piece of the code before. So this is my N project NFT. And this is another NFT, this Mutantverse DNA right here. This is another NFT that I created or minted, and it was created just from my sets of numbers. I'm the only one that owns this. I can sell this DNA thing, or it can be used in another video game, and that's where kind of the snowball gets rolling. Now, my final take with NFTs before we talk about some other stuff here is this is complicated. It's high level stuff. I wouldn't say this is beginner crypto things, because there's a lot that you should really dig into and learn about this space before you just start buying NFTs left and right. A lot of them are worthless, just like in every other place in crypto. You're going to have scams that pop up, or garbage coins, garbage NFTs that are not worth anything that you can purchase. So you really do have to do your research and find a project that's going to be like your next Fortnite, your next Axie Infinity, that you actually believe in, or that has artistic value that you think people will be able to purchase from. And that's kind of the hard thing. So that's why I'm kind of exclusively looking for NFTs that do stuff, as opposed to your NFTs that will gather hype from a famous person buying the artistic piece. In that case, like Axolotls is kind of more on the artistic side, and you have a lot of other NFTs that once they take off, they do some crazy stuff here. I mean, we can look at the activity here, and this is how you can tell, like, this is not something that's going away. These are people that are purchasing, like this one right here, this NFT, whatever it is, was purchased for 3.9 Ethereum a minute ago. So if you bought that NFT from somebody else 10 minutes ago for 1 Ethereum and you flipped it for 3.9 Ethereum, that's where you can start to make money from flipping these things. And like I said, it does get complicated. If you start buying garbage NFTs, you're not going to be able to flip them for any price. You have to look at supply and a lot of other stuff. But we're not going to get into that in this video. There are other resources that you can use. Nansen is a resource, and this is a resource that costs about $145 a month for you to even access the website. But when you're dealing with Ethereum-based NFTs, that's honestly a drop in the bucket in terms of what you're purchasing, and that's the last point that I'll get into. If you do start messing around and want to test out NFTs, it is not cheap unless you're doing it off of the Ethereum blockchain. So purchasing an NFT, you have to think in terms of Ethereum rather than thinking in terms of dollars, because of gas fees. So you're paying hundreds of dollars in gas fees, 0.07 or 0.007 Ethereum and gas fees every single transaction. So when you think about it in terms of just Ethereum numbers, it makes a little bit more sense in terms of justifying your purchases and how you're going to be flipping these things. But looking at it in dollars is just a little daunting overall. I would just not do that. Or alternatively, you can do NFTs on other blockchains like Polygon, or maybe the upcoming Cardano blockchain, or a few other things too. So that's my advice. If you're going to mess around with this and you really just want to test the waters, I would recommend trying to do it on Polygon or some other cheap blockchain, not Ethereum, because that's where you're gonna waste all your money in gas fees if you don't own a ton of Ethereum. So that's the general breakdown of NFTs. Now we can take a look at this one. Like I said, Video Game Dev Squad is the one that I've really been looking at over the past week or so. So this is like I said, there's some rare ones in here, and this is a few that I've purchased, and you can get into some super rare ones, like you have an NFT of Link from The Legend of Zelda. So this one, people are offering 3 Ethereum to buy this. It was sold for 0.24 a day ago, so I don't know, I guess that was before it was actually revealed, but nonetheless, this is an NFT that, like, we're seeing them go for about 8 Ethereum for some of these rarer ones, and for the less rare ones, they're going for less money. But again, you can still flip it if you purchased it for 0.1 Ethereum and you're able to sell them for 0.5 Ethereum. That's where people are able to make money from flipping these things. They're not just for people to collect, although they can be. And on top of that, let's just go over to the actual website for Video Game Dev Squad. Look for use case. So in this case, like I said, if you read through this, you follow the community, you vet the people creating the coin, and it all makes sense to you. With this one, Coin Games, it makes sense. I mean, they're not doing anything super revolutionary. They are kind of copying and pasting from Axie Infinity and a few other things and adding their own take to it. But nonetheless, that's kind of one of my last points. Is it's going to take a long time for use case to come out of these things. When you're purchasing a piece of code, and for like that Airbnb example, or for that owning a piece of Fortnite example, that's going to take years to actually come to realization. So this is why NFTs are way more speculative, even the cryptocurrency. NFTs speculation factor is the same as Bitcoin's speculation factor when it first launched. Could be a really good play, but you just don't know. But you got to do your research. And when I researched Coin Games and Video Game Dev Squad, it looked solid to me. And another final point, patience. You have to be patient. These are not things that just are like crypto and they go up 30% overnight. But they are, in a sense, like crypto, where they can go up 10, 20,000% within a month's time span, or within a couple months time span. So if you're patient and things start to pay off, and your NFT is ahead of the game in terms of development or just viral marketing, then it's going to pay off big time. And like I said, in my Discord group, there's been a couple guys who made a lot because one NFT paid off a lot. You could spend 8 Ethereum on 15, 20 different NFTs, and all of them can become worthless except one, which turns out to be 20 Ethereum that you flip it for, and it's all worth it from that. So that's kind of the way that you got to look at this. Highly risky, again, if you're playing with Ethereum, but I do understand the flipping factor on how you can make money from it, and I also understand the potential in where these things can go once people start really digging into them. And if you want an example about the only NFT that's really carried through with their actual game and owning a piece of it and playing to earn, look up Axie Infinity, not just the coin, but look up the actual game. I would suggest go to twitch.com and watch people play the game, and that will help you to understand what owning a piece of NFT means. So hopefully that clears things up. I'm digging into this more myself. Don't just like I said, don't just FOMO into any NFT. You really have to do research to find the one that's right for you. But that is that. Oh, I also wanted to show you guys this. So there's other things to look at. There's a lot of tools to look at. For example, this is a tool that gives you the estimated rarity of your NFT. So example, we looked at the Link NFT earlier. You can see that 0.2% of all of its traits means no other NFT has any of its traits. You can go look at the rarities of a lot of these other NFTs and see, is your NFT rare? Can you actually sell it for something? This one's for sale for 6 ETH. Probably worth it if it's ranked 20 in rarity. So, you got to use your resources. But that's my introduction into NFTs. Maybe I'll be talking more about them. Maybe not. I might just work behind the scenes and just kind of do things on my own with NFTs because, like I said, these are riskier and harder to predict. But yeah, that is that. And hopefully tomorrow or soon here, I'm going to be doing some videos about Cardano. Maybe not tomorrow because their smart contracts are going live tomorrow, but there's not going to be anything that's actually fully developed, ready to go tomorrow. I don't think. But you definitely staking. If you're not staking your coins yet, I've been making so many videos about staking Rose, staking Matic, staking Cardano. You should be doing that. If you have your crypto sitting on the sidelines. All right, guys, that is everything for today. Like, comment, subscribe. If you want to get my videos 2 to 3 days early, follow my Patreon channel. And if you want to get up to date information on things like NFTs and other stuff that I haven't really talked about in video format, this is a good place to go to get connected to my Discord and talk to all of us about what you are finding and what we are finding. All right, guys, I'll catch you in the next video. Like, comment, subscribe. Peace out.